that video where I first introduced drop shipping, I had like 10 followers on TikTok. I had posted maybe 10 videos before. And then I'm not kidding. I woke up one morning and I had like 200,000 views. Then it got up to 1 million views. And then I started getting a bunch of followers from it. And I've always been comfortable talking about making money, and I love teaching people different ways how to make money online.
And that's exactly what Madison McCarty is going to talk about today on Become a Media Maven. I found Madison on TikTok. I didn't follow her. I didn't know anything about her. I just like to scroll through TikTok for entertainment. And there she was. And she was talking about how to make money through selling products that you don't create yourself on Etsy. And her video was so captivating because, first of all, it's a minute long. And second of all, she prefaced it with basically like, listen, you can be an idiot and you can make money this way. And I was like, hey, let's learn more. So in this episode, she's going to break down what she does to make money online. And something that I like about chatting with her now is that she's brand new to it. She's making an extra $1,000 a month. I feel like if I brought somebody on here who was making $10,000 a month through Etsy, you wouldn't be able to relate to that person. And Madison is very relatable because she literally got into this as a hobby / side hustle, make a little extra income. And it's kind of snowballing into more just because she's approaching it like a business. She's treating it like a business. And she is so generous with how much knowledge and value she gives in this episode. That's another reason I wanted to have her on, honestly, because she lays it all out. I don't want to say she overshares, but she shares everything she's doing. And I find it very difficult to find women in business who feel confident enough to do that. And Madison is one of those people. So I know you're going to love this episode with Madison. I have added on my list of things to do to open up an Etsy shop and use drop shipping and Canva to make it all happen. Who knows, maybe after you listen to this episode, you will want to do the same thing because Madison makes it sound super fun. But as you will hear, yes, a lot of work is involved, especially when you are just getting started. And we haven't covered Etsy here on the podcast before, selling on Etsy, and I myself am an avid Etsy shopper, so it's nice to see a behind-the-scenes look at how things work. As always, you can find everything we chat about in the show notes for this episode. You can find Madison on social media, on TikTok, and her Etsy store. So make sure you check out the show notes for this episode. And before we get started, another reminder, if you have not yet tapped that subscribe button or left me a rating or a review, I would appreciate you doing so. Now, here's my interview with Madison McCarty.
Ever wonder how some people seem to get a ton of media coverage and you don't? Welcome to Become a Media Maven, where TV reporter, host, and news contributor Christina Nicholson shares years of media experience to help you get the media attention you and your business deserve. And now, to help you master your media coverage, Christina Nicholson.
Madison, thank you so much for joining me on the Become a Media Maven podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm super excited to talk to you. I literally I don't want to say I met you on TikTok because I don't really think you meet people on TikTok, but I was just, like scrolling for entertainment per usual. And I saw one of your TikToks and it was like, this is how you can make money just by selling stuff on Etsy that you don't really create and you don't really ship, and it's super easy. And obviously this is TikTok, so it was a 1-minute video and I was like, oh my God, that's the coolest thing. So then I started watching more of your videos and I was like, this is genius. And this is something that you just started doing. You just started having success with. So break it down for people listening exactly what you're doing on Etsy and how it's not really taking up a lot of your time, but it's a nice chunk of change every so often.
Yeah, so what I do is I have an Etsy shop. It's called Mountain Shadow Market, and I started this Etsy shop just a few months ago. And I do sell some handmade items, but I also really wanted to get into the idea of drop shipping. So, what is drop shipping? So, basically, what I do is I create some sort of design, like on Canva, and then what I do is I go through a company called Printed Mint. They are my drop shipper. I will basically what they're going to do for me is they are going to after I get a sale on my Etsy shop for said t-shirt or mug, whatever I design, they are going to be the ones to produce it for me and ship it to my customer. Not just that though, they will customize my packaging. It'll kind of look like it's coming directly from me. So when I first learned about dropshipping, I was fascinated because it's a perfect form of passive income. And who doesn't love passive income? It is just something, maybe you spend 2 hours designing some sort of t-shirt or mug, and then you list it on your Etsy shop, and then it's like hands off. And it's something that's just going to continue to make you money. And I was pretty fascinated with it. So the first thing that I created with drop shipping on my Etsy shop was a t-shirt that said Walnut Grove on it, which is the hometown in the show Little House on the Prairie. That was a show I always watched when I was a little kid. I saw a hole in the market for it. There was no one that was really making cute t-shirts for it. I went for it, and then I was getting multiple orders for it a day. And so that was kind of like the start of my drop shipping experience. And then I started making, more shirts and mugs like that. And it's just been a good passive income stream for me in the past couple months.
Okay, so tell me how you realized that there was a hole in the market, because this is something that I believe you mentioned in that first TikTok that I saw. You said find something that is so super niche and create designs for it and then put it on Etsy. So how did you find, because I'm thinking of when I go on Etsy, like the last few things that I bought have been like things from Schitt's Creek. Like I have coasters that have like Schitt's Creek sayings. I have t-shirts that have it all. So how do you find that thing? Like you said, Little House on the Prairie. Like how do you find these things? I mean, is it just like searching in Etsy like you would in Google for a variety of things?
So it was a show that I loved, and it was something that I wanted to wear myself. And I actually remember I was like, oh, this was before I started drop shipping, and I wanted a t-shirt that said Walnut Grove on it. So I'm going on Etsy and I'm searching for it. And again, this is a super old show. Like people who are searching on Etsy these days are not looking for those kinds of t-shirts. And not to like discredit other people's designs, but they just were not something that I would wear. They were kind of a little bit corny, and I just wanted something simple. And so I was like, well, I wonder how I could make that myself. And I had heard about drop shipping before, and that was kind of like the birth of that idea for me, to kind of get started with drop shipping too. And then I posted it, and I use a tool, it's called Marmalade, and I can see how many searches, how many people are actually searching Little House on the Prairie every single day. Only 40 people. It's a incredibly, incredibly small niche. But these people are really qualified shoppers at the same time. They're dedicated fans, and my design was probably the most like more modern design of t-shirts out of only the 10 that even existed. So even though it's a small search, it doesn't have a lot of searches a day, it's still my best selling item.
And with Marmalade, is that like SEO for Etsy specifically?
Yeah, and they really break it down for you. It's probably the most simple way to really understand Etsy SEO.
Okay, awesome. So you made this shirt, you made it for yourself. And then, so as far as the design goes, because you're not like sending these t-shirts out to be printed and then you're like crossing your fingers hoping they sell. You get an order and then you order one through Printed Mint. Is that how it works? You get an order, you order one. You get an order, you order one.
Yeah, and so exactly, and that is why this drop shipping and print on demand has taken off so much, and why it's become so popular for people to start doing is because I mean, it doesn't get more low risk than that, you know? I don't have to have an inventory. I don't have to think how many small shirts do I need to get, medium shirts, large shirts, all that stuff. Like that's taken care of for me. As soon as I get an order, then it gets ordered on Printed Mint. It's made to order, it's print on demand. And so it's just super low risk, which is really enticing for a lot of people.
So after you place a listing in your Etsy shop and somebody orders something, then that order comes to you and then you place that order with Printed Mint, correct? It's not like they're talking to each other and you're hands off.
Well, actually, so Printed Mint, I believe, is a pretty. It's definitely a smaller dropshipping company. I think they're fairly new, but now they do offer that automated connection. So it is totally hands off. As long as it's not something custom, like you're adding their name to the back of the shirt or something, it's completely hands off, totally passive.
Wow. So you just get orders and you do nothing. You literally
Yeah,
do nothing after you get an order.
exactly,
You probably
exactly.
just get an email that says you got an order and you're like,
Yeah.
yay, there's some
Yeah,
money.
and then, and the profit margin is not as large as like the handmade items. But again, you're not doing it's not just low maintenance, it is no maintenance. So, for example, and I'm super transparent about it, like it'll generally cost me $14 for Printed Mint to create that t-shirt for me and ship it to wherever in the United States, and I sell it for maybe anywhere. I sell shirts from $22 to $25, so your profit margin's a little bit smaller, but again, like it's you just have a bunch of listings out there that are drop shipping, and it's no maintenance for you.
That's amazing. Couple questions. One, how did you learn to set up an Etsy shop and put in the parameters of how people can order, whether it be size, color, design? Like, how did you learn all of that? Were you just poking around and you just spent, time, trial and error teaching yourself?
That's exactly what I've always done. I'm like super trial and error. Of course, I couldn't even tell you what blogs or videos I was reading. I would go on YouTube and I'd just see like, oh, how much, they're like, here's how you can make so much money in a month. Um, on Etsy, like those kinds of videos, those kinds of blogs, how to get started. But in general, like it is just go in there and click on sign up and it'll walk you through the process. It's super trial and error, but like what's the worst that's gonna go wrong? So it's yeah, I just poke around and eventually I just started learning, doing a little bit more research and yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, so when you're posting these images, like say it's some little house on the prairie stuff on t-shirts, on mugs, I mean, you can put like designs on anything. How are you making those mock-ups? Is everything in Canva? Do you like import a picture of a t-shirt from Printed Mint and then put the design on it? How does that work? Like, what are you showing people if you don't actually have these items?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. That's probably the question I get the most from people. And basically it's both. So I do that on Canva. I'll have my design, and then Printed Mint will give you blank photos of the t-shirt that you can just place the design on. But they will also create a basic mock-up for you that you just hit download, and you can do that too.
Oh, so Printed Mint is super helpful in helping you sell these things on Etsy.
Yes, yeah, and they give you really cute styled stock photos and everything. So they make it very simple. Yeah.
So how much time are you spending on this? Like, I know this is just a side hustle, and I have to say, I do appreciate how honest and transparent you are. I find that there are so many people, regardless of what industry they're in and what business they're in, especially women, when they get online to talk about what they're doing, they share the most basic, generic shit that we've all heard a million times. And I think a reason I was also drawn to your video, because I was like, oh my gosh, she's actually telling people how she's making money. She's not afraid for other people to do this too and make money. So I really appreciate that. And something that you did share was like, hey guys, I'm not like getting rich all of this, but I am making an extra $1,000 a month.
Mhm.
So talk to me about how much time you're spending on this because it's obviously not a full-time gig. However, just being a couple of months in, making that much money is crazy impressive. And I feel like it could be a full-time gig for that reason. Like, I feel like I don't know shit about Etsy, but I just feel like you've had a lot of success very fast.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. So as far as the amount of time I'm putting in on my handmade items, it's starting to become a full-time gig, drop shipping. What I'm trying to do right now, so I have a goal by the end of July to have my Etsy revenue hit $10,000. And I'm trying to outline my plan for that goal, but for right now, that is my goal. And one way to do that, which I learned from a girl who makes about $5,000 a month drop shipping on Etsy, is she tries to post at least one new listing a day. And so that to post one listing of a drop shipping item on Etsy and do it well will probably take me 3 hours. And so that's what I try to do in the evening. And basically, I'm including my time to design the product, whatever I'm making, and then market research as well. So like, what should I be pricing this at? What's my competition? And then writing out my descriptions and everything to make sure that I'm hitting all those SEO points as well.
Okay.
So probably, I would right now I'm trying to spend 3 hours a day doing that.
And then what do you do when you're not spending 3 hours a day doing that? Like, do you have a full-time job? What do you do
I
normally?
do a lot of I do a lot of like freelance marketing. So I'll build websites. I do a lot of video editing and stuff. And then my handmade items too are take up a good portion of my day, which is why I also started getting into drop shipping just because it's like it helps fuel my revenue and take away some of that tedious time that I spend on my handmade items as well.
And is Etsy helpful at all? Like you said, to post something well. What makes a post good?
Yeah, so that's how what I was talking about with that app, Marmalade. And basically, I signed up for this. They're kind of partners with Etsy, and I loved this app because it would literally take your listing and say, we give this an F minus. It gives it a letter grade. And it'll tell you, here are the things that you need to do to your listing to make them better. So things like you should add 500-word descriptions to your listing. You need to add 5 more photos to your listing. It really breaks everything down. And that's what I've been focusing on. So descriptions are probably the most important thing. Super, super descriptive descriptions sell. And that's what I've learned. And then also being really human on Etsy, because people are really, really hesitant to trust people like me, trust drop shippers. They think some people say it's scammy, and I don't care because I'm super, super upfront about the fact that, hey, this item is a drop shipping order. And my name's Madison. I personally design everything. Sometimes I even put a picture of myself in my listings because people like to come to Etsy uh, to support a small business, and you want to give off that vibe. So in my listings, I'm like, hey, my name's Madison. Feel free to send me a message, whatever. It's going to be me personally answering you. I'm not like a front for a much bigger company, anything like that. So yeah, there's a bunch of different things, but those are probably the things I focus on most.
So I found you on TikTok because TikTok just like served you up to me. No rhyme or reason. I don't think I was searching for anything about Etsy or drop shipping. I mean, I didn't know you. So I'm guessing that these posts are popular, or were you popular for something else on TikTok? Like how is how are things going for you on TikTok with this? Because I feel like it's all new.
Yeah, so that video where I first introduced drop shipping, I had like 10 followers on TikTok. I had posted maybe 10 videos before, and then I'm not kidding, I woke up one morning and I had like 200,000 views. Then I got up to 1 million views, and then I started getting a bunch of followers from it. And I've always been comfortable talking about making money, and I love teaching people different ways how to make money online. And I'm like, well, I clearly see what the people want, because my other videos that are not about talking about money do not do very well. And the algorithm, I think, kind of picks that up too. Um, so it's been pretty exciting, and I've just been continuing to try to push out uh, more content like that.
So
But
it
that was the start of it.
That's amazing. And I think that's the video I saw. Like you're starting saying like, let me show you a super easy way that you can make a lot of money in no time, like in 60 seconds. That's the video you're talking about?
Yes. Yep.
And then since then, you've just been focusing on the making money, the Etsy stuff.
Yes, yeah, I do. And I've started getting into like affiliate marketing and stuff too, just now that I've gotten more followers and everything. And people People love, love, love transparency is what I've realized. And I have no problem being transparent. I will take a screenshot of how much money I have made on Etsy this month, and I will break it down for you, talk about my fees, whatever, because it's lacking so much, like you said.
Yeah.
I am also so sick of people just running their mouth saying, this is super easy and this and that. And that's the angle I like to come from, because personally, I do think this is a more easy way of making money, but I am going to be realistic with you about, how much money you can realistically make as well.
Yeah, and you don't just share the revenue, but you also share the expenses. And that's
Yeah.
exactly why I wanted to have you on, because I appreciate people who get online and act like that. So, okay, I feel like a lot of listeners are having all of these ideas because it's like a fun side hustle. We're all obsessed with Canva, with the drop shipping. Like I honestly, in my mind, thought you would get an order and then you would go to Printed Mint and then like place the order again to get it shipped. But the fact that you don't even have to do that is unbelievable. So I
Yeah.
feel like so many more people are going to want to jump on this. For somebody who wants to start this from scratch, open their own Etsy store, I mean, walk us through the steps, like first, second, third. What do they do to get started with a drop shipping business? Let's go with, say, this person is obsessed with High School Musical and Zac Efron. So, how old are you, Madison? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes. I'm
Okay.
22. That's my perfect era. Yes.
Okay, great. So say somebody, maybe that's their jam. And the only reason I bring that up is because my sister is obsessed. And I got on Etsy to buy her stuff and I was searching like Zac Efron, High School Musical, and I couldn't find a lot of amazing things. Like I ended up getting her a Zac Efron car air freshener, a sexy Zac Efron mug with some inappropriate sayings, and then like East High t-shirt or something. But what do people do? Like walk us through the steps. So when they're done listening to this episode, they can go and do step 1, step 2, step 3.
Yeah. So I think step one, get in the mentality, don't overthink everything. People get really scared about opening Etsy shops. They just overthink it. They're like, what about taxes? What about any kind of copyright, this or that? That is the other biggest questions that I get from people. Don't overthink that. You can go on Etsy.com right now, and there's somewhere that's going to say sign up to become a seller. You're going to need to input pretty basic information. First name, last name. You will need your social security number. Technically, you're starting a business, and you should think of it that way. And so you're going to go through those steps. You're going to have your Etsy shop, and you're going to have 0 listings, so no potential to make money yet. I always recommend Printed Mint. They're my drop shipper. I'm starting to look at other drop shippers just to see what other people offer as well, but I would totally recommend starting with them. So printedmint.com, you're going to go and sign up for an account with them. It's very, very simple, like signing up for an Instagram account, whatever. Um, and then you're going to see all of the items that Printed Mint offers. Just go to their products. You can look through those. They offer mugs, keychains, aprons, t-shirts, sweatshirts, like 1,000 different products that they can print something onto. And then if someone's say, they're really interested in something like High School Musical, like you said, you couldn't really find anything that really interested you that much. Well, think of something that you would personally want to buy. What is a design that you would wear? Are you looking for something more simple that you just can't find? Then go to Canva, design something that you would personally wear and buy. And then you can just upload it onto the t-shirt or the sweatshirt or the mug that you chose in Printed Mint. They're going to give you those mock-up photos. And then you can go and post the photos on Etsy, put a description on there, figure out what the realistic pricing should be for you to make a profit. And do it well, put some time into it, and hopefully you'll see orders coming in. And I would definitely recommend, if you're going to start your Etsy shop, within 1 week, try to get 20 listings on your Etsy, because you're just going to get in front of way more people that way.
So it's I mean, I guess very similar to, I guess, social media algorithm, SEO. Within how many listings? Repeat that. Within one month or 1 week?
Within 1 week, try and get 20 listings on your Etsy shop. Obviously, it's going to be time consuming, even if they're not, you know, totally search engine optimized and all that stuff. Just get them on there, and you can always go back and fix that kind of stuff. But what I learned as well is Etsy likes to reward new shop owners. They want you to make a sale. When you're making money, they're making money, and they truly want you to succeed, especially in that first month. I don't know how true it is, but I read that Etsy puts you in front of a lot more people. They will send you a lot more traffic within your first month, so make it count. Get orders, then get some 5-star reviews going, and then it'll just kind of start to snowball from there.
It sounds like I'm starting a podcast. Like when I launched my podcast, I launched it with 3 episodes, but then I just maintained it with one
Right.
episode a week. So you don't have to do 20 listings a week every week. Just like start with a bang and then maintain it.
Exactly, exactly. And I need to take my own advice. I need to get even more listings on my shop. But that's what I started with. I read that and I was like, I am getting as many listings. I stayed up till 4 o'clock in the morning one night and I just got a bunch of listings on there. And and just keep in mind, if you're starting an Etsy shop, it could take you 2 weeks to get your first sale. That's what it took me. And then, Etsy will incorporate a bunch of different things. I made sure that I asked all my customers, hey, will you leave me a review? As soon as I got my first 5-star review on my shop, I noticed people started trusting my shop more as well, because no one wants to be the first one to buy or review, right? They want to let other people do that before they trust this shop on Etsy. So I got my first review, 5-star review, and then I started that day. I got 3 more sales.
So how do you get those reviews? How do you ask for them? Do you email the person who purchased from you? Do you have a card that goes with their item? How do you get reviews?
Both ways, actually. So you can set up an email within your Etsy marketing. Etsy marketing is really, really awesome. And it'll automatically send out an email once it was marked as the item was marked as delivered, and say, rate this shop. I found most people don't pay attention to that email. However, with Printed Mint, you can include a gift note, and I always include a gift note. Again, coming from that super human aspect, like, my name is Madison. Thank you so much for ordering my Little House on the Prairie shirt. I loved that show growing up. I hope you love it too. Would you mind leaving a review, an honest review of my shop? And those are the people who actually do come back and leave you a review.
Okay. So let me go through these steps and let me know if I'm missing anything. Step 1, just get on Etsy and open your shop to become a seller. Step 2, get on Printed Mint or whatever your desired dropshipping company is and check out what they have for sale, because you can't really create something to sell if you don't know what dropshipper you're working with. Step 3 is when you do some brainstorming and some research, like with that marmalade tool you mentioned, to see what people will actually find on Etsy. Because if there's a million Schitt's Creek's t-shirts, then it's hard to compete with that. So find the holes there. Then design it on Canva, mock it up with Printed Mint so you can actually post it. And then step 6, investigate how to post it well and price it well. Can you go into that a little bit more on the pricing? Obviously, we're taking into account your cost. If it costs $14 for drop shipping and Etsy, then you're not going to sell it for $15. But then you also don't want to be crazy higher than your competition. So explain to me how you price your items on Etsy.
So, the biggest thing you're going to need to figure out first is your own cost. So, to Printed Mint is based in Arizona, so they're relatively central in the United States, and I found that their shipping cost is always all the same for me. Within about like $1 difference. So the most it costs me, I think like $9 for the actual T-shirt and for them to put the design on the T-shirt. Then it costs $5 for shipping. So I'm at about $15 right now for my cost. What does my profit want to be? You also have to account for Etsy costs. They take a percentage. It can be like anywhere from 5 to 15%. And again, you research your competition. I don't think that $24, $25 is much to ask for a T-shirt at all. And I've noticed other people don't either. And so then you have, about a $10 profit, give or take, with your Etsy fees. And to me, for something that I don't have to maintain, that's a really good profit, I think.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. And then after that, we are going to make sure that we plan ahead and post 20 different listings in your first week and then just try to maintain it from there. And then as soon as your orders go out, you ask for reviews via email and with a gift note with your customer's order. Did I miss anything, or is there anything else that we should include in there for people to keep in mind? One question I have: do you always order the first item for yourself just to make sure the quality's good?
No. If you do that, your profit margin is going to go down pretty considerably because um, what you can do. I mean, they had so many good reviews to start with. Like, I just wasn't worried. I was familiar with like the printing process that they use for their t-shirts, and I'm like, it's a white, simple design. I just wasn't worried about my Little House on the Prairie t-shirt. I don't think I actually ordered one until I got like 15 sales from it. And then I was like, you know what? I should probably own this t-shirt like anyway. So I ordered it, and I did a review on that on my TikTok just to show people, like, what does the packaging look like? What does the print quality look like? And I kind of broke that down, and I just don't think there's anything to be, that worried about, to be honest. And what you can do, if that makes you a little bit uncomfortable, is Printed Mint will take a picture of the item and send it to you before they send it out to your customers, which I thought was actually pretty cool as well. Of course, that'll add on like a day or two to your shipping time, so I just don't think it's worth it. But I have yet to get a negative review about the quality or like anything like that. So
That is awesome. Okay, so Madison, where can people find you to learn more? Because you are just a wealth of information, and I love that you are just starting and having success. So, like, by the time this episode comes out, and then, a few months from now, like, you're going to be leaps and bounds from where you are now. So if people want to follow along with you, where do they find you? You mentioned your shop is Mountain Shadow Market, correct?
yeah,
Okay, I will
Mountain
link
Stock
to that
Market.
in the show notes. And then where else should I send people?
Probably the best place to follow me is on TikTok, which my handle is at Money Talk Maddie. TOK. And then my Instagram, which is at Mads with a Z McCarty on Insta. So I've been trying to keep up with all the money talk on TikTok, especially. So
Awesome. I will link to all of that in the show notes. And if you listening are going to create an Etsy shop and start selling some things, let us know so we can see what you are doing and what you're making and what you're creating. I'm a big Etsy shopper. I love Etsy. So I think that's awesome. I have so many ideas. I just don't have the time to dedicate. I guess I shouldn't say that. Everybody has the time. It's just how you want to prioritize your time. And I can't prioritize my time right now to do the 20 listings in a week and be super on top of maintaining it. But I also think this is something fun that my daughter and I could do, and create some things. So we'll have to give it a whirl because, like you said in your TikTok, it can be so easy and it can be hands off, and it's fun. And if it doesn't work, you're really not out anything. You're out, a couple of hours making designs, which people think is fun anyway. Like, my daughter loves playing on Canva. So this is awesome. Is there anything else, Madison, that you want to add that I should have asked?
no, I don't think so. I think it was a great conversation. Thank you so much for having me.
How cool was that interview? Something super unique to the podcast. I'm going to be doing more of that. I want to bring on a lot more people who aren't shy about sharing what they're doing and how it's working. I love people who have the confidence to do that. There is enough space for all of us to be successful. And I really want somebody to break it down step by step. This is how you can do what I'm doing to be successful. So thank you, Madison, for that. And obviously, as I tell you every episode, you can find everything we chatted about in the show notes for this episode. And I would also appreciate you leaving me a positive rating or a review if you are liking what you are hearing. I took a little break. I took a break from the podcast for a couple of months, did a little rebrand on Christina All Day, did a little rebrand on the podcast, as you can see. I hope you like it. If you have any suggestions on who to bring on, if you like following people on TikTok or Instagram, or anywhere else, on the internet or in real life, please let me know so I can bring that person on and tell me what you want to learn. Step by step, tangible, strategic things that you can do to be successful. Let me know so I can cover it here on Become a Media Maven.